So, it is now my distinct honor to introduce our commencement speaker. Travis Potter is a talent development specialist for Omaha Steaks at the company's headquarters right here in Nebraska. He leads employee professional development. Travis is an alumni of Kaplan University, now Purdue University Global, and he's earned 3 degrees with us: an Associate of Applied Science in Business in 2010, a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration in 2012, and an MBA in 2016. Travis is the Learning Management System Administrator for Omaha Steaks University Online. So he knows a little bit about what we've all been doing here. For over 10 years, he's been a corporate trainer focusing on systems, sales, and service training. He's a member of the International Society for Performance Improvement, the Omaha Organization Development Network, and is the Director of Programming for the Association for Talent Development Nebraska chapter. Graduates, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Travis Potter.
It is such an honor to be able to speak here tonight. Like it was stated, this is my 4th graduation ceremony that I've attended for this university. And for the first time, I didn't have to worry about making the grade or completing my capstone on time and in good to be able to be invited here. So I really appreciate being invited and being able to do that. I have sat in your very chair numerous times, and I know that feeling of accomplishment that surrounds these front rows this evening. There's a great sense of energy, and I could tell that there's a lot of excitement in the room. I'm so honored to be sharing your night with you and your family and friends, so thank you for that. I know the road that you've taken was a tough one. Sacrifices were made, gratification was delayed, your work, efforts, late nights, waiting on children to go to bed, and sometimes late night test prep to be able to cram that last moment there. And here you are, you persevered, you overcame, and you've completing a life-changing event, not only for you, but for all of those that follow you. Now, some of you might be coming into this evening with the sense of closure. I'm done. And you put so much into this that the one thing that you do know for sure is that I won't be doing this again. Who in their right mind would put themselves through that again? And it is a natural feeling. I've said it myself as well. I'm right there with you. And myself as well, being a first-generation graduate for my family, the first individual in my family to go to college, my wife, our 6 boys, and my extended family truly felt those pressures as that journey went along for myself and my family. And so with their sacrifices and their dedication to allow me the time to be able to have a little bit of quiet time in the basement with the headphones on, away from the kids to be able to study, I truly appreciate that. And I know most of you have felt something along those lines to a certain extent. And so just as you have sacrificed, your family, your friends, they've sacrificed as well. I know they missed you when you were studying. Now, no matter what you're here tonight receiving, I want to make sure that this isn't the end for your education journey. Learning should be a lifelong pursuit. Many times it's easy to sit in comfort and wonder, how is my betterment actually going to affect the world? I'm just one person, a drop in the bucket. But remember, not only are we actively the future, those that we're going to pass this off to are the future of that. And so we need to be able to set them up and inspire those around us and put them in the best place that they can when they take over our roles at work, our roles at the household, and everything else that we're involved in with our lives. So although right now, a lot of us sitting in the front row may be thinking, yes, I did this, which is true, but we need to just turn that just a little bit and have a mentality of, yes, we are doing this, because there's so much more involved rather than just a virtual online student. There's a lot of us that had so much support on the back end. So it's always nice to be able to be in a position to have that. Now, success comes in a wave of progression that one can continue to ride. And if the conditions are right, it can take you pretty far, but you've got to either be a great swimmer or you've got to have those resources like a surfboard or a raft to be able to take you much further on a safe journey that you want to attend to. And not only did I grow up in a household where I didn't learn to swim, I also grew up in a household where neither of my parents graduated, not even high school. So the focus that they put on for me, they knew the priority of education. They just didn't know how to explain that and portray that and to put that in front of me. I don't really remember my parents discussing school, college, or my future much. The one time I do remember it was in the spring when I was a senior in high school. And I think they realized at that moment that if I didn't have a plan for the fall, my summer was going to be a really long time with them. I never took the ACT. I didn't research college prep process. I didn't know the admission process. I didn't know what to expect or where to go. And I remember it very vividly, post-graduation, one summer night, and I got a phone call, and I answered the phone call. I didn't get very many phone calls. My mom actually answered the phone. And somebody on the other end had asked me, Travis, what are you going to do now that you're a high school graduate? And I was taken back, totally unprepared for the conversation. And I told the individual on the other end of the line that I was interested in Nebraska College of Business. And reluctant to say, the person on the other end of the line told me that's where they were calling from. And they set up a meeting later that week, and the rest is history. So to this day, and Nebraska College of Business for you was the name of Kaplan before Kaplan. So for a little history lesson there. But to this day, I don't know where that phone call came from. I don't know how they got my name or my number, but they called me. So maybe my parents had something to do with that. But I don't know about you. Right out of high school, I certainly wasn't prepared. I didn't know that path, and I didn't know where to turn. So I'm very appreciative for that call and the opportunity that I had in front of me. And I can say, after getting my associate's degree, it did open up doors for me in my career. The first one was a very small door, little doggy door. And I had to get on my hands and knees and crawl through it. But it was an opportunity for me. And I did make the best of it. And I was smart enough, because I had a college education at that point, to look at one degree opened one door, that 2 degrees might open up that much more. So I got a hold of my recruiter, and I enrolled in the bachelor's program, and I went back. And then yet again, upon completion, I was able to capitalize on another advancement opportunity in my career. So I saw that correlation. Now, being in learning and performance, I know how important it is for you to take your knowledge, experiences, and know-how into the workplace and influence others. You need to know that there's going to be change, and you need to have a plan in front of you in place to be able to prepare for it. Welcome it when it gets there because you're there ready. I urge you to never stop learning, whether it be formal education or another path, but keep learning. In a business context, learning means transforming new information into new skills, behaviors, and actions. Organizations learn in the sense that they modify how they get the job done to reflect new ideas, knowledge, and ways of thinking, how they produce products more efficiently, how to install new equipment, what the competition is up to, and so on. Learning involves improvement and change. And it should be pretty obvious that learning is important to an organization's health as well as an individual's health and long life. Yet despite larger and larger investments in education and training, many companies and managers still fail to make that connection and that investment. Some managers, they don't see the need for further education. They already know everything. They don't have the time to learn anything new. Others that see the value in learning, but they too have meetings and priorities and other things that they need to put their focus into, and getting another degree or a certification or just learning something isn't a top priority for them. So if you are not already, each of us should be creating a learning movement. Start with yourself, your household, those around you, your inner circle, your outer circle, those you work with, interact with, and this movement will change your lives. In the book Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg explains that a movement begins the social habits of friendship and strong ties between close acquaintances. It grows because the habits of community and the weak ties that hold neighborhoods and clans together. And it endures because a movement's leaders give participants new habits that create a fresh sense of identity and a feeling of ownership. And you can and will create new habits as you grow and initially affect those around you and continue to affect those around you. And as I look down here at my notes and I see my in-text citation, properly APA formatted, I know how change can affect a person. It sticks with you. So never stop learning. Develop a growth mindset and invest in yourself. Don't be afraid to fail. Remember, success comes with a wave of progression, and you can continue to ride it. But when it comes to failure, some of the times you might be beneath water. That means you have to keep your head afloat. And in doing so, it drives your focus. And I imagine that's when you're going to do some of your best work, is in moments like that. So as you continue to go through life learning, I encourage you to share those best practices, whether it be post a blog, share something on LinkedIn, write an article, share it with a neighbor, coach an employee. Just don't keep it to yourself. If you know something that someone else could benefit from, it's probably a good idea to share it with them. Network and expand your inner circle so that more and more individuals are developed and touched by your generosity. And finally, never let your successes define you. I urge you to continually be defined by what you're chasing. What is going to be your next accomplishment? Your next defining moment? Never stop learning. Now, graduates, we just learned a new chant tonight, so I want to prepare you, not to knock any hats off. But in closing, I want to thank you but go Purdue. There it is.
Thank you, Travis.